Well, hello, y'all. It has been quite a minute since I've filmed something. And please excuse my hair. The wind was just straight horrible today, and I had to pretty much put it in a ponytail. And with it being this short, putting it in a ponytail kind of kills a lot of my curls. How y'all doing? It's it's been something this last month. These next coming months are going to look a little different for me because I've tried the whole, TBR thing. It didn't really work out for me. And I've tried, pulling out books out of well, for me it was a box. I don't have a jar. I probably do. I was just too lazy to look for one. And I had a box. But anyway, yeah, I had tried that, and let me tell you what, my motivation for reading has pretty much plummeted. And I was thinking back to before YouTube, I was reading a lot. And one of the things that was helping me read and was pushing my drive was I was part of this Goodreads group called Challenge Corner, and they would set up quarterly challenges, and they did monthly challenges, but I didn't really do the monthly challenges. I did quarterly, and I'm saying "and" a lot, aren't I? I'm sorry, but anyway, they set up these quarterly challenges, and I would do that, and I think I'm going to do that for this channel, except we're kind of already into a quarter. So for the next 3 months, we're just going to do that. June, July, and August. Pretty much summer. We are going to try doing a challenge like I did on that to see if it helps spark my reading, because I would always get super excited for the challenges and like, oh, I want to find books that fit this. So this is what we will be doing on my channel, and you guys are free to join me as well. I'm not gonna have a like little I don't know what you would call it, graphic. That's what you would call it. It's a graphic. For this, I have 3 sheets of paper. It's a long challenge because it's going to be over 3 months. No way am I going to finish everything on this challenge. But I'm going to try, because that's what I did with those challenges. And let me tell you, I never got close. But I'm not going to quit. So, alright, y'all. In all seriousness, though, I've been struggling with reading this year. And so this is what I'm going to try and do to help put spark back into my reading, because what you guys have seen since I started this channel is not really what my normal reading looks like. I have, on average, 10 or more books every month. But here lately, it's just, I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe it's the season. Maybe I'm just not. Anyway, I am hoping this will kick everything back into gear. What is this challenge? You're probably wondering. Well, it is the Disney Princess Challenge. Each Disney princess is based off of the animation only. No remakes are included. So everything that I have based off is based off of the animation. Like what year, something about the animation. Anyway, I also went in order. I found a list that said what publication. That's a book. What release year order was. So we're gonna go off of that. And if you are a Disney fan, you know the very first Disney princess is Snow White. And I also want to say, under each Disney princess, there's only 6 prompts. I didn't want to go overboard. Also, what Challenge Corner did, it was like 10 to 12 prompts. I didn't want to go that high. I wanted to do something a little more realistic for me. Why each princess has only 6 prompts. And like I said, the very first one is Snow White. Snow White is my like top tier princess. I used to go to sleep to Snow White. The VHS, my mom got me one of those TVs that had the built-in VHS for my room. I felt like a queen when I got that. And I had that all the way through high school. I had that one. And let me tell you what, I'm sad that I don't have that anymore. But, I don't even know what happened to it. The first prompt for Snow White is based off of Dopey. And if y'all are familiar with the cartoon, you know Dopey does not talk. So the first prompt is, includes a non-verbal character. To be honest, I don't think I've ever read a book with a non-verbal character, but I could be wrong. So, prompt number 2 is based off of Snow White herself and what happens to her. And that is, features someone being poisoned because she was poisoned with the apple. There you go. Speaking of the apple, prompt number 3 has an apple on the cover. I have a lot of books on my Kindle that have an apple on the cover, so that one I got down. Prompt number 4 is based off of the heroes, the true heroes. Disney, let me tell you again, the true heroes, okay? So y'all can scrap that remake and go and redo it again. And that is, it features a dwarf or dwarves. And prompt number 5 is also kind of based off the dwarfs as well, and that is a character who is a miner. I've read a couple that were based in mining towns, but I don't think they had well, obviously they're based in mining towns, so obviously they're going to have miners. But like a side character that is a miner, and they have more of a plot point, I guess. Y'all probably get what I mean. And that brings us to the final prompt, which is based on when this movie was released. It was released in the 1930s and still holds up. So yes, I've read a few books set in the 1930s, but I want to dive more into that. I always feel like authors do a lot of World War II books and in historical fiction, and to be honest, I'm bored with World War II. Okay, I grew up in a family that dedicated their free time into learning about World War II. My area of expertise was the Holocaust. My brother is battles. My brother can name you a battle, who had won, how long they were there, how many men died on both sides, the dates. Like, my brother is just quick with that. And I'm sitting there like, I know Battle of Bastogne. I know D-Day. That's about it. I don't know the actual name for D-Day. There was actual like operation names that my brother could tell you. I could not tell you a thing. But anyway, that's what my family did. We did deep dive into history in general, but World War II was our main emphasis. So, making a very rambling, long-winded story, I want to dive more into other eras, the 30s being one of them. I did read, what was it, last year? Or was it this? No, it was last year, In a Far Off Land. I can't remember the author, but it was set in the 1930s and Hollywood 1930s, and it was really beautifully done. So I want more. The next princess, again, if you are a Disney nerd like me, you know the next princess is Cinderella. Cinderella, Cinderella, night and day, Cinderella. I promise I won't sing anymore. I used to hate Cinderella because I was like everybody else, thinking this is a dumb, stupid story. She fell in love with the prince and he can't remember her, so he has to go and find whose shoe that fits. But since little teenage Jamie grew up and rewatched Cinderella, the prince doesn't send anyone on a mission in the animation to look for Cinderella with the shoe. That was his father. His father sent the Grand Duke on that mission. It wasn't the prince. So the prince had really nothing to do with that. And he gets all the hate for it. When really it's the father. That being said, what is Cinderella most known for? For prompt number 1, the shoe. A book that features a shoe on the cover, like a very popular cover would be Cinder. Cinder has a shoe on the cover. Yes, someone's wearing it, but it still has a shoe. It counts. Prompt number 2, you gotta, base something off of the villain, at least for Cinderella. MC, main character, has a stepmother. Now, notice I did not put evil stepmother. My brother is a step-parent, so I know not all step-parents are evil, so the main character could have a good stepmother or an evil stepmother. It'll be fun to find which one. I probably have more evil stepmothers than I do good stepmothers, so it'll be interesting. Prompt number 3 is based off of where Cinderella was wanting to go and where she meets the prince. Prompt number 3 features a ball. I don't even want to think how many fantasy books I have that feature a ball in some way, shape, or form. Prompt number 4 is based off of Cinderella's dress in general. And what's weird is when you look at most pictures of Cinderella, she's in this blue dress. But if you go back and watch the animation, her dress is not really blue. It's silvery blue. It's more silver than it is blue, but it's got a hint of blue in it. So, with that being said, the cover is a silvery blue. And when I'm going to say a cover with a color, the cover has to be at least 3/4 of the cover has to be that color. This is that supposed to be like a navy blue or a black? I don't know. And this, I'm gonna say it's a navy blue because in this lighting it looks black, but as you guys can see, the color is a majority of the cover. So you probably all understand what I'm trying to say. Prompt number 5. This one is based off of Cinderella and her loving, nurturing character, and that is a character who is friends with animals. Can I get some birds to make my bed? Can I get some mice to like knit me or sew me a gown? I would love that. I don't know about y'all, but I would love that. So, and again, prompt number 6 is based off of Cinderella, but not in her character, but what her stepmother and stepsisters made her, and that was a maid/servant. So prompt number 6 is the main character is a maid/servant. Know who the next princess is? It is Princess Aurora. I'm sorry, I said I wouldn't sing. I'm sorry. Or better known as Briar Rose. And also has the remake I hate the most, because I actually watched the remake, which was Maleficent, and I refused to watch Snow White because, yeah, that looked like a train wreck, and then all of the publicity that went with it was not helping it in any form. Also, am I the only one who thinks she looks like Lord Farquaad with that haircut? Anyway, enough with the remakes. But yes, I will say, just Maleficent was the biggest piece of trash ever. I don't care what anyone says. Why do we have to have morally gray villains? Why do we have to create this backstory to make us compassionate with a villain? Can we go back to old school Disney where a villain was a villain, evil was evil, and good won? Can we go back to that? Also, didn't like what they did with the fairies. They made the fairies stupid mean. Okay? They weren't stupid mean. They were so kind and nurturing to Briar Rose, even though they didn't understand how to do things. Alright, I'm done with my rant. I may cut this out, or I may leave it in, just so y'all can get the authentic Jamie feelings. But Aurora and Cinderella were released in the same decade, which was the 1950s. So I chose for prompt number 1 for Aurora is a book set in the 1950s. Like I said earlier, I'm always reading books in the 40s and I'm bored. I remember reading one book set in the 1950s. It was he writes legal stuff. John Grisham? That sounds wrong, but it might be right. But he had wrote a book called A Painted House that was set in the 1950s. And if I remember correctly, also dealt with a little bit of racism, but not what you would think with 1950s. It was more towards Hispanics. But anyway, that's really all I can remember of a book reading in the 1950s. So if y'all have any recommendations, please leave them down below. I feel like I'm talking with my hands more than normal. Prompt number 2 is based off of two fairies in their fight over what color a dress should be. Yes, a cover needs to be pink and blue. I don't know where I'm going to find this, but I'm pretty sure I have something on my Kindle because 400 and some odd books, I gotta have something, you know? I gotta. Or I can just go to my library and search for a blue and pink book, if they have one. Prompt number 3 is still being based off the fairies, and that is just, in general, the book features fairies. Prompt number 4 is based on Maleficent a bit, and that is a dragon on the cover. This doesn't necessarily mean it has to feature a dragon, but most times when there is a dragon on the cover, it features a dragon. But this prompt is a dragon on the cover. Y'all know I already have something with a dragon on the cover. Prompt number 5. This is based off of The Curse, and that is a spinning wheel on the cover, or a spindle on the cover. It could be just the spindle or the whole spinning wheel. Prompt number 5 is based on Aurora's curse again, and a character has a long nap. Now, they don't have to have a long nap like Aurora. They could have like a 2-hour plus nap. So the next, according to this list, it could be wrong. I did not go and double check it because I really didn't care. But the next princess I thought came after another princess, but apparently she came after Aurora according to this list. And that is the Little Mermaid, Ariel. If that list is wrong, please let me know. Because I seriously thought Belle came after Ariel, or Aurora, not Ariel. But apparently Ariel's next, which I used to love The Little Mermaid as a kid. I used to watch it all the time, but now it's just meh. It's not my favorite anymore, so. But of course, prompt number 1 is based off of Ariel, and that is a character who is a mermaid. Prompt number 2 is more based on Ariel's setting, and that is the ocean. The ocean is on the cover. It could be just a beachfront, or it could be a big wide ocean. Yeah. I think The Life of Pi has an ocean on it, and the kid is standing on a boat with a tiger in the background. I've never read The Life of Pi. It never seemed interesting to me. Never watched the movie. Again, never. It did not seem interesting to me. But I think, if I'm remembering the cover right, it's basically the ocean. So that would count. It's not just a beach. So, prompt number 5, or why did I say 5? We are on 3. We are on 3, Jamie. Learn to count. Okay. Prompt number 3, let me tell you what, almost all of the princesses could have this, but Ariel is the first one to show up really to actually have one, and that is main character has a sidekick. Doesn't have to be an animal. It could be a human or some fantasy creature, but they have a sidekick. Number 4, where does Ariel meet Eric? But on a ship. So we are gonna have a ship on the cover for prompt number 4, and I have a ton of those. Prompt number 5 features a father-daughter relationship. Much like the stepmother for Cinderella, this doesn't have to be a good or, it just doesn't have to be a good relationship. It could be a bad relationship. It just needs to feature a father-daughter relationship. Finally, prompt number 6 is based off of, hey sweeties, is based off of Ariel in a way. Ariel is daughter number 7 and has 6 sisters. So, prompt number 6 is the main character has many sisters, and she doesn't necessarily, or he doesn't necessarily have to have 6. They can have 3 or more, but definitely has to have 3. That seems like a lot to me. Now comes Belle. Like, I seriously thought Belle came before Ariel. So if this list was wrong, somebody please help my sanity. But if not, well, I don't think there was much hope to begin with there. The first prompt is based off of Belle's dress in general, and Belle's dress is yellow, so the cover has to be yellow. And again, it doesn't have to be all yellow, but majority of it does. Prompt number 2 is based off of Belle's dad, and that is a character who is an inventor. Prompt number 3 is based on where they live, and that is set in a small village / town. It could be a small town, because village makes it sound more historical, while town sounds more like your contemporary romance, and I don't even want to know how many contemporary romances I have on my Kindle, let alone how many of them are small town romances. So I got that one definitely covered. Prompt number 4, what is the one thing Belle is most famous for? Reading and getting a library from her man. So this one features a library. It doesn't have to be a personal library. It could be the town's library or a school library. It just, one of the settings that they have to go to is a library. Prompt number 5 is based off of Beast and Gaston, and you're like, what? Whoa, hold on. No, it's not a love triangle. No, but a character who has anger issues. Obviously, Gaston has anger issues because he gets rejected by Belle, and then Belle defends the Beast, so he goes on a rampage. But at the beginning of the cartoon, if you guys remember, the Beast has some pretty bad anger management problems. And of course, one of the most famous lines from Belle to Beast is, "If you would control your anger." So, prompt number 6 is based off of the person who started this whole story in general, and that is The Enchantress, a book that features an enchantress. In most of your fairy tale retellings, an enchantress is involved. So, next princess is Princess Jasmine. I don't know why I did that. Y'all, it's like after 9 o'clock here, so I am getting what we call in our house stupid tired. So please ignore my silliness. But Jasmine, where this is based off of is Arabian Nights, which I've never read any of the Arabian Nights stories. Where is the Arabian Nights set? The Middle East. So prompt number 1 is a book set in the Middle East. Prompt number 2, based off of Jasmine, the main character has a pet cat. Now, it does not have to be a tiger. It could be a smaller model, like any normal house cat. So, it just, as long as it's a cat, it works. Prompt number 3 is based off of Aladdin, and that is features a character who is a thief. I have a few heist books that I want to try and read to see if the heist genre is for me. So obviously, if you're going to have a heist, you're going to have a thief. Prompt number 4, opposite side of tracks romance. I have read many of these, but they were all like contemporary romance. They weren't anything like historical. There was a few historicals, but most of them were contemporary romance. And that is, it could either be a rich guy or a rich girl who dates a poor guy or poor girl. So, rich guy, poor girl, rich girl, poor guy. One of those things. Prompt number 5 is featured off Aladdin as well, and that is a diamond in the rough character. I'm not going to explain diamond in the rough to you guys because you guys know what it is. Moving on to prompt number 6, which is based off of the villain, Jafar. Features an usurper. I had to make sure I said that right. Usurper. So anyone who overtakes the throne. This is why I need this challenge. I'm already excited to find books to fill these prompts, but I have to wait until June 1st. Princess is the only one that I actually know of that is based off of a real person, while Mulan is based off of a legend. This one's based off of an actual real person. We have an actual historical text to back up this person, and that is Pocahontas. It's not for me, but moving on. The first prompt is based off of a actual song that Pocahontas sings, and that is Color of the Winds, or Colors of the Wind, not Color of the Winds. Anyway, a colorful cover. It has to have 5 colors or more. I'm trying to find, I don't think I have one close to me. I think I have, it wouldn't come out. There we go. That is something I would call colorful. It pops, and it has more than 5 colors. Number 2, based off Pocahontas and kind of her people more in general, but Native American character. And I think I have a Sleeping Beauty retelling that has a Native American twist on it, because I think the main character is supposed to be Native American, so I'm kind of looking forward to that one. Prompt number 3 still based on Pocahontas, but the main character goes against the norm. So Pocahontas is, from what I remember, I have not seen Pocahontas in over 10, 15 plus years. Yeah, she didn't really hate the white man like the rest of her people did, if I'm remembering correctly. Okay. And then of course she saves John Smith from being executed, so it goes against the norm. Prompt number 5, opposites attract. So a lot of times this is going to include your grumpy sunshine, like that, or it could be very much like Pocahontas with that relationship in that animation. While I do not like the romance, it's still part of the animation, and that is Pocahontas and John Smith from two very separate worlds coming together. Prompt number 5 is a little more serious, and one that's going to take me out of my comfort zone a bit, and that is tackles racism. There are several books out there. I named one earlier, A Painted House. So yes, I'm also been wanting to reread The Help. I don't know if any of y'all have read that book before. I remember loving it, and I love the movie, so I am wondering if I should reread that, or take a dabble into another book that tackles this very serious subject. Prompt number 6 features a fight. I wouldn't call what happened in the movie a battle. I would definitely call it more of a fight between two warring, I wouldn't say nations. Two warring groups, definitely. Either way, I call it more of a fight. So this could feature something like The Outsiders that has like the Rumble, something like that, or just straight up two people duking it out. So yes, that just any kind of fight. Princess is the one based off of a legend, and that is Mulan. I absolutely love Mulan. I'm not even going to tell you guys how many times me and my husband quote Mulan. So, prompt number 1, the main character is of Asian descent. Prompt number 2, set in Asia. I don't think I've ever really, no, I take that back. I have read books that were set in Asia, but, prompt number 3, based off of my very, very favorite character, and I'm sure you guys aren't surprised by this, but features a dragon. This one actually has to feature a dragon, not just on the cover. Prompt number 4, the main character goes undercover, because Mulan goes undercover to help her father. Prompt number 5, the main character is in the military. Yeah, pretty much. It's self-explanatory. Prompt number 5, this one is a bit different than Pocahontas. This one actually features a real battle. Military go onto the battlefield and face each other. This princess used to be one of my favorites until I came to Jesus, and her story deals with something that I am not gonna open myself to be susceptible to anymore. And it really sucks because she is one of my ultimate favorites. I absolutely love her plot line, but it features something that goes against God, and we just can't. And so if any of y'all know who I'm talking about, you'd be correct if you guessed Tiana. Oh, I absolutely love Tiana. I love the 1920s. I love New Orleans setting. I love all of that about what Disney did. But again, with New Orleans, you get voodoo, and you cannot be open to voodoo if you are a Christian. So unfortunately I had to stop watching her and I hate it. But God is more important. So prompt number 1 is based off of Tiana and her dream to open a restaurant, and that is a main character has a big dream and they actually strive for it. Prompt number 2, because again we are in 1920s New Orleans, mostly 1920s Louisiana. What was created? Jazz. So prompt number 2 is a book that features jazz. Prompt number 3, set in New Orleans, or I'm pretty sure as they say it, New Orleans. I probably didn't pronounce that right. I am so sorry to Prompt number 4, the main character is African American. Prompt number 5 features a restaurant, because I mean Tiana wants to open a restaurant, so why not have one where it features a restaurant? And then of course prompt number 6 is based off of her and the color that she is mostly associated with, though I don't remember her dress being exactly the color that she's normally in, kind of like Cinderella, but the book has a green cover. The next princess is very much like Mulan. I had to sit there and think, but we quote this next princess's movie so much. So here comes the smolder. I am talking about Rapunzel. Number 1 is based off of her very long hair. MC has long hair, and it's kind of like a talked about thing in the book. Prompt number 2 features a heist. That one's based off of Flynn Rider and it starts with an S, the something brothers, but you know, they do a heist in the beginning of the movie. So prompt number 3 is based more off of what Mother Gothel did to Rapunzel, and that is the MC is locked away. So it doesn't actually have to be locked away in a tower. It could be locked away in jail. Could be locked away in a room. If the character is locked away, it counts. Prompt number 4 features a horse. Obviously this is based off of Maximus, who is one of the top characters. I mean, Maximus steals the show. Prompt number 5 is based off of Flynn Rider, or should we say Eugene Fitzherbert, a character who has an alias. Prompt number 6 is based off of Mother Gothel herself, and that is a character obsessed with age. The only one that I can really think of that I know that they were obsessed with age, I would say, is the second book in the Twilight series, New Moon. Bella drove me nuts with how she obsessed with being 18. Girl, 18 is not old. Shut up. Next princess is one of my top favorites, and also she is the only Pixar princess. I am talking about Merida. So prompt number 1, the main character has red hair, and let me tell you what, there are a lot of redheads in the book world. Prompt number 2, set in Scotland, which Scotland is a very beautiful place. I would love to visit there. I would have to win the lottery first, and in order to win the lottery I have to actually play the lottery, but that's never gonna happen. So prompt number 3 has a family dynamic. One thing I absolutely love about Brave. So funny enough, my top movies, and another one is one I can't watch anymore since I became a Christian, but Brave, Encanto, and Coco. The main reason I love these is that there's no love interest and we have a beautiful family dynamic. I love that we focus on family. Though, Disney, can we not have our abuelitas being completely traumatizing and abusive? Just wondering. Okay. But yeah, there's no love interest, and I wish Disney would make more movies where there's no love. Moana is another example, actually. Moana does not have a love interest in either 1 or 2. So, where was I? Oh, yeah. Prompt number 4. I did that with Rapunzel. Prompt number 4 features triplets, and that's based off of Merida's brothers, and I can't remember their names. Prompt number 5. The main character is an archer, obviously based off Merida herself because she is known for her bow and arrow skills. Prompt number 6. While Merida doesn't really have this, I'm done with competitions for marriage like The Selection. I just feel icky. I feel gross. And also, I've read quite a lot of books like The Selection, only it was more Hunger Games meets Selection, and it was fight to the death. And yes. And by the way, I've only read the first book of The Selection, so that's all I'm going off of. But anyway, I didn't want any competition for marriage because that's kind of what you get is the selection. So this one I just did an arranged marriage because technically they are kind of trying to arrange a marriage. It just happens that they have to do a little bit of a contest to win the hand. Next princess also features a queen. I grouped the two together because I did not have the brain power to separate them and come up with 6 prompts for both of them. And I am talking about Anna and Elsa. Elsa is the only queen, if you think about it. She's the only one that is coronated as queen until the second Frozen, and then Anna is. But the rest of them, oh my goodness, I'm gonna try and get through Anna and Elsa and Moana. This video is long enough. But prompt number 1 is based off of Elsa, and that is the MC has powers. Number 2, set in winter. Prompt number 3 has a sister's bond, like it features a sister's bond. Prompt number 4 is based off of Kristoff's family, or the Love Gurus, depending on what you want to call them, and that is it features trolls. Prompt number 5, a white cover. Prompt number 6, this one's a little more depressing, and that is the main character loses their parents. Like I said, it's a little depressing. Now finally we have Moana. So, prompt number 1, the main character is a sailor because Moana becomes a wayfinder. Prompt number 2, set on a tropical island. I had to put this back because I just was not in a good headspace for this, so I might read this and knock it off of the tropical island. Prompt number 3, the main character is a Pacific Islander. I don't think I've ever read a book where a character is a Pacific Islander, let alone the main character. So I'm gonna try and find a book for that. Number 4 features a quest. Prompt number 5 features a rescue, because let's face it, Moana rescues Maui a lot. Prompt number 6 is based off of my favorite character of the first movie, and that is her grandma, who calls herself the village crazy lady. So the prompt number 6 is a character who is labeled as crazy, whether self-label or people labeled them as crazy. That is it. That is my challenge for the next 3 months. Let's hope this helps get me. It's just my dog. Let's hope this helps me get back into reading, trying to light that fire again, because here lately it's been just, it has not been good at all. And again, if you want to do this challenge with me, you can. I will try and do weekly updates to let you guys know where I am in this challenge. It may not be the longest video like this, but I will try and do weekly updates. Okay. That being said, I will see y'all later. Bye.